Welcome to the Foxhole. I'm Nandor Fox Shaffer, and this is the Art of Writing Comics episode 3. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at an indie book published by Image Comics in 2017 called Generation Gone. This is the first issue right here. This was a 5-issue limited series that was written by Alice Cott and drawn by Andre Lima Arajo. This series never got a sequel, and it might have fell under your radar, but let's take a look and let me explain to you why you need to pick up this book and the things that we can learn as creators and writers from it. Generation Gone, though short-lived, is a series that I have a lot of fond memories with and a fond history with. I remember when it was announced. I remember putting it on my pull list. I got every issue as it came out. And I was a big fan of L.S. Cott's Winter Soldier run that he did with Marvel and with the artist Marco Rudy, which is another series I'd love to look at. But and also I'd heard about some of his other independent work like Zero. Hadn't read it, but heard good things. And this premise was a unique angle, taking a look at, to give some context for this series, the generational gap or divide between millennials and boomers or Gen Y, Generation Y. And so I had just turned 20 when this book came out in 2017, and it was very timely and relevant for me, and a partial commentary on that was something I hadn't really seen done before, at least in comics. And also, it was a unique, fresh take on the superhero genre. And a lot of people will say you can't really inject anything new with superheroes because it's so crowded and everything's been done before. And maybe everything's been done before, but maybe everything hasn't been done well before, and or done great at all, or serviceable at all. And this is a series that did it justice and looked at young teens becoming superheroes or having superhuman abilities, really, and just acing it, doing such a great job at character development with their stories and their friendship and all of that. And so this was also 50 pages for $5, and that was just a steal, and still is a steal. Most comics are 20 pages and they're $3 or $4, mainly 4, sometimes 20 pages for $5. So you're paying $1 for every 10 pages, and you get so much for this first issue. It's a great debut, just great. And as you could probably notice, there's something different about this cover, and you probably notice something that we have here, some dialogue, and this is actually page 1. And this is something that is true to each issue. Every issue, page 1 is the cover. There really is no cover, and so you get drawn in right away. I mean, if you're at the comic book store, you're looking at new stuff, you're going over there, and you're at the new release rack or shelf, and I mean, you kind of can't help but just start to read it, and maybe that pulls you in and makes you pick it up. And it's a very, I think, clever marketing technique, but also it's pushing the medium and embracing it, which I'm just such a big fan of. I love that. I love seeing it. Makes me wish I would have thought of it. And this is something that Silver Age comics and comics of yesteryear would do, where not necessarily in this way. This is a modern take, but you have the hero and villain, and there's all the dialogue or the way to grab the reader and draw the reader in. If you're a kid and you're looking at the comics and you're like seeing these heroes and villains kind of, are fighting and they're talking about what's happening in the plot. And so this is two of the three main characters that are having a conversation. And I think this is really cool. And with every issue, I love how they do this. I really like the design elements. I mean, again, something that I talked about with the first two issues of Rorschach is the design and the cover. And look at image books. If you're an indie creator and you're thinking about how to lay out your cover or the titles and the logos, and because you can really gain some good insight and ideas of how to lay things out. And this is very Hickman-esque. I remember thinking that and just looking at it now, the black and white. And so it gives off that vibe, which I really love. And just, it has a clean back cover too. But so yeah, we start out page 1, although it's the cover. I love you, Nick. Cool. But do you have to say it all the time? Sorry, I didn't mean to. That's okay, baby. I love you too. I just wish sometimes I could turn you off, Why would you want that? Why wouldn't I? Be cool to have so much control. So yeah, right there you're like, whoa, what are these two talking about? Who are these people? And also, that's a weird thing to say to your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other. You probably can't tell, but there's actually the GG here. Probably see black, maybe make it out, but it's very faded, very faint. And, it's cool because it's like page 1, you would flip it open, and page 2 or on the left. Usually the first pages are on the right. So this is Elena and Nick, and these are two main characters out of the three that we see here, and they're having a date and they're having a conversation. And just from this conversation alone, you get a sense of their relationship and kind of how toxic and how much kind of this jerk is is a manipulator. She apologizes. I'm sorry. That's all right, babe. Just be grateful, okay? I am. I really am. He's like, good. I mean, whoa. Read some red flags here, but and this is something that's addressed, of course. This is intentional, and the girl we see here is not the girl we end up with by the end of this 5-issue series, and it's awesome. She has a strong character arc, and even though Nick is such a bad guy, bad kid, there's some scenes and some things that you learn about his backstory that make you kind of understand or feel for the guy. You don't want to see someone corrupted, and we see what these powers will do to these characters. So have this really, really beautiful splash page here. Now we're introduced to the sub-story or other storyline and in the series, and we have Mr. Akio. This is him right here, and they're having a governmental meeting or government meeting, and he's introducing his project, and he's talking about this new thing that he's been working on by himself, and it's called Project Utopia. And there's this other project that he's supposed to be working on, and he is, but he's also been doing this secret project in the meantime. And I'm going to read some of this because it really helps to explain the fresh angle and how it's looking at superheroes in a new light. So he says, everything in the world is code. The magic is real, and its name is science. But the name of science is also magic. This may sound confusing. Let me explain. Science deals with the seen, magic deals with the yet unseen, or that which has been seen once and not since. And code is a link between the two. The human genome, the computers, your phones, the traffic, the movements of the oceans, the movement between our neurons, everything is code, including our flesh. So you kind of get an idea where he's going with this. And he's like, so how do we rewrite it? This is great. Have you ever read a book that changed your life? I bet you have. The content of the book changed the way your brain processed information, then it changed the way you interacted with the world. Based on that, you may have developed new skills. You may have changed the way you perceive the world. This may have affected the way you use your muscles, your eyesight, your language, just about anything. We become the stories we tell ourselves. This is a story of new humanity, and we build it with code. Brilliant writing, fantastic. I'm all for that. So compelling, and I'm sold. I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. So I believe I have built, and I understand this may sound quite strong, a preliminary version of a code that, when it interacts with a human being, has the capacity to create superhumans. So that's really the whole gist of this, and him trying to sell this project and this idea. And the thing is, the code is split into 3 parts, and it has to be read together for it to work. And we have 3 main characters, so kind of see where this is going here. And he wants to, revolutionize the entire world. And this guy has a really great backstory that we'll get to later in the later issues. But just this whole idea has me excited, and I'm like, whoa, what a neat idea. It's like Matrix meets superheroes, but Matrix meets Teen Titans, or I don't know how you want to kind of pitch it, or how Alice Cott pitched it, but I like it, and I think it's a really strong idea. And just goes to show, superheroes, hey, they're forever, and you can tackle them any way you want, just as long as you are able to tell a good story. So he's questioned, does he have any proof that it'll work? He's kind of shut down in a way of saying, hey, we need to focus on this project that we have been working on, that we've been paying you to work on. So he, like, yes, sir, absolutely. See the city here. Nick and Elena meet. She's working 2 jobs. She's caring for her ill mother. She has cancer. And so she's, really going through a tough time, and kind of all these characters really are in their own way. And here, so they're hackers. This is what they do, and what they're planning on doing is hacking into Bank of America, or a bank, and getting money and stealing money, and to make their lives better. And so you get this commentary of the system is really pushing them down, and they're not able to live freely in how they want to live. And so it's definitely something that made me think. And this is a trial run that is being performed here. They're actually, I believe they're hacking into DARPA, or the government, the system that Mr. Akio is a part of. So they get in, and they're doing great, but Nick is getting a little greedy here, staying in too long. This is the trial run, and this is Baldwin. Sorry, I forgot to introduce him, but this is the other 3rd main character, and he's like, never do that again. He kind of was compromising their ability, and they could get caught, and it's all over now. And look who's listening in, Mr. Akio, and we see the same dialogue that was on the previous pages here. So there's these really quiet moments, these pages with no words, and it's great storytelling with the art, of course, and also uh, I think since this is 50 pages, of course, you don't want to bog down the reader with the first issue. And so even though it's 50 pages, it doesn't feel like it when you're reading it, and you're able to get through a lot of the pages pretty quickly. But what's neat about this is you're getting to know about these characters just through visual storytelling. And of course, Alice Scott's writing this out, and he's scripting this for the artist, I imagine. And it's important to of course, show character just through the art and have the reader learn about them through the art itself. You don't always need dialogue, and you don't always need captions and that sort of thing. So when we're writing comics and we have scenes that with no dialogue, be sure to include and kind of make things important with the visuals, because you don't want the reader just to be like, I don't know what this is about, and just keep flipping through these pages and don't really care. Here we see Elena and her mom hug, a very close relationship, different lifestyles. She reads a book, goes to bed. It's showing how these characters contrast and their different lifestyles and what makes them different. And so we have Nick here. We have a picture, I believe, of his brother Roy. We'll learn something happened to him. And this is Roy's room here with some trophies. We don't see where he is. And then we go to Baldwin here. He's athletic. We have a Muhammad Ali poster. And this, like here with Roy, Nick's brother, this is all visual storytelling. You have to pay attention, and that's something that I like about what's being done here with this comic and these pages. You're getting insight into these characters, and you're not bogged down by excessive dialogue or anything like that. And it's well composed, and I really love Andre Lima's work. So here we get back to Mr. Akio and General Ross, but just this guy, I believe his name is West, maybe is General West, I believe. And Mr. Akio has been still working on Project Utopia, and he's General here is not happy with this. So he tells him, don't worry, all they saw, because he's been doing surveillance on Elena, Nick, and Baldwin. Mr. Akio has been, and he tells them they have penetrated DARPA 3 times without being caught, just for fun and to see what they can do. He's like, what? Don't worry, all they saw and all they stole were made-up files generated. He's like, these children are millennials. Men like you have taken their future away from them. They're getting ready to steal it back. We have a chance to sell them on your version of the future. Let's be frank, the game is rigged against them, but what if we offer them a chance to be on the winning side? We hire black hat hackers all the time. Are they younger than your usual recruit? Sure, but they are also extremely intelligent, efficient, driven, and hungry. You're not telling me something. What would that be? What do you really want them for? What we all want. The future, sir. And then he tasks these people to take his files. Project Utopia is dead. So there we get more of the commentary for what the themes are for the series through the dialogue. And Mr. Akio really believes in these kids and wants to give them a future. And we'll see why that is too later in the series. And he tells them, we own you, And so we get this really frustrated look from Mr. Akio. So wake up with Elena. Today's the day. This is a really great moment of friendship between these characters, and they're talking about what they're gonna do with their money, and you really get to see them kind of bond. And I love this image right here, and it's great. And there's some good little humor here. Elena's like, I'm still going to quit both of my jobs. And Nick's like, maybe I should get a job. And Baldwin says, always a contrarian. Always friends. Always, always. So we see the bond between these characters, and it's so tragic to see what happens. This is another insight into Nick. And this is a really cool sequence where they're in the movie theater and Elena's falling asleep. And they're watching Taxi Driver. So, Nick really loves this movie. So it's, he says, such a good movie. I can't believe you fell asleep. And yeah, it goes to show kind of where his headspace is at. If anyone's seen Taxi Driver, I mean, you'll understand. It's a brilliant movie, great film, one of the best films I think ever. And of course, the Joker, Taxi Driver was a big inspiration to Todd Phillips' Joker. But it's some heavy psychological themes going on, and it's a downward spiral, and it's reflected in Nick's character here. So it goes to show you there. I don't know exactly how they were able to. If there are any copyrights with Taxi Driver, how they were able to get it in there, how that works, but. You can use media and the real world things to really drive home who a character is and what they're going through. I really love this panel here. He basically says like if she doesn't go through with the hack, I'm gonna dump you and never look back. He's like, how's that? See you tomorrow. And she has this just petrified look, and I love the all yellow background panel. Just works so well. And she tells him she's scared. Baldwin's like, damn, today be the day. Getting ready. Here we see them, all the different characters in their lives for this one moment that's happening. And this right here is just beautiful. I love the transition here. She's like, Elena's like, all right. That's just, there. You can feel the tension and the hype and the stakes and the risks that are going to be taken here. And, their whole lives are going to change for the worse or for the better, depending on how this hack goes. And I love how we get this little interval of just art and seeing how each character is dealing with the big day. So they're all ready. Mr. Keogh's listening in. And he's playing along, talking to the general here, saying, how wrong he was, and really just lying between his teeth. They're in. They hold hands, Elena and Nick. Baldwin's like, you done? Got a bank to rob. So they're starting. The code is being read. Mr. Keogh's at work, showing them the code. And Baldwin says, you're right. I think someone's hacked us. Let's abort now. They're all reading this, and 3 people, 3 parts of the code. Something's about to happen. And you just kind of see that here. It just gets worse. They want to unplug. What's wrong? She just starts convulsing, and this like black liquid is coming out of her face and her eyes, her mouth. They're screaming. And this is just chaos and heartache and horror. I mean, you see this right here, and they're all choking and like gagging, and stuff is coming out of them, and Mr. Keogh's like, gods, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what's happening to these kids? And he's like, what have I done? And just the horror that's conveyed in all of this, in this layout here, this is amazing and really tells you all you need to know. And it's horrifying. It's terrifying seeing this. And every time I look at these pages, it never feels like old or anything. You're always like, whoa, this is gruesome to look at. And they're all unconscious here, still. All this black stuff. Elena wakes up. She's like, Nick, Baldwin, guys. What is happening? And there we go, issue 1. And little teaser for issue 2 there. So there's all this code here. It's very neat, very cool how they added that in. It's like, wow, what an experience. what a first issue debut. As far as first issues go, really great, really strong. And already I want to know what's going to happen. It's a great cliffhanger. Great, well-rounded characters. You all know when you're reading it, you can tell where they're all coming from. And so, yeah, I can't wait to keep looking at this series. Please let me know if you've read Generation Gone, what you think of the series as a whole, what you think about this issue. Are you going to pick up this issue now? Is it something that fell under your radar and you never got when it came out? I'm sure you could get a graphic novel of it. And we're going to go through this entire series. So be on the lookout for videos for issues 2 through 5. And please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video and tell me what you think. Hit the notification bell for all the updates when I upload videos. I had a pleasure looking at Generation Gone issue 1. I can't wait to go through the series with you guys and take a look and really examine just how good of a story this is and what a fresh take on the superhero genre. And the commentary here, I think, is very timely and relevant and something we can all kind of think about and glean over. So, yeah, thank you guys so much, and be on the lookout for the next video.